I've got a couple of questions, one from Janine and one from Chris. Chris, yours is on the onboarding. I think I'll leave that to a bit later. But Janine asked a question regarding how can we generate people data within the metaverse? And I think it's more question for me. But I mean, John and Andrew, you're welcome to jump in if you feel I'm missing something. Okay, but let's talk about understanding people. Okay, so Andrew, I know you for a while. John, I know also know you for a while. So always when it comes to predictive analytics, I always use this example. Because I know both of you, if we get a random email sent to you and to you, John, I'll have probably a 30 to 40% chance of predicting how Andrew would react. I'll probably will have a 70 to 80% chance of knowing how Jean would react because I know him better. And when I say no, it just means that I've collected data about Andrew as a person in my head and Jean as a person in my head by observing and interacting with them. So I'm collecting data, and humans have been doing this for 10,000 years. When we interact with someone, we collect data, and that allows us to make predictions about their behavior. However, there are other people on this that I've never met in my life before. So let's say let's not call names, but let's say if there's somebody on this call that I've never met before, if we send that same email to you, I will probably have a 0 to 5% chance of predicting how you would react because I don't have enough data in my head about you as a person. Now, HR analytics works exactly the same. So firstly, we need to collect data about our employees. Now, the biggest challenge about collecting data is twofold. First is the digitization of data, okay? We need to, whenever we observe, we need to put this on some form of data so that we can run a report later. So let's talk about recruitment. I need to collect the CV data. Then I need to collect the assessment data. Then I need to collect the long listing, interviewing, and all that data in order to help me write predictive analytics in the future, yeah, so that I can predict better. Yet there's a lot of stuff that happens within, and this is the second challenge, within recruitment that it is practically almost impossible to digitize that data. Let's talk about body language within an interview situation. Yeah, there is some software out there that can read facial expressions, but for the purpose of understanding is that person honest or not. That's basically where that software ends. It doesn't tell you what personality they have. Will they become a top performer? Will they fit in with the team? Now, that type of observation happens at the person level, right? It happens with the interviewing, observing the person. It happens with the line manager observing the person. So that's the second part of collecting data that's very difficult to replicate within digitization point of view. Now let's go to the metaverse. Now in the metaverse, I'm not saying there'll be facial expressions. That's it, because I think we're about 7 to 10 years away of scaling that. So although Meta is working on it, not especially in Africa, not every employee would have VR goggles and that type of stuff. We won't have 40 million VR goggles next year. It's just not too cost effective. However, what happens in a metaverse, if I'm an avatar, Jean is an avatar, Andrew is an avatar, and everybody on here is avatars, and we go into a world where we start interacting. We start talking to one another. I start spending more time with Andrew in the metaverse, less time with Jean at the metaverse. All this type of behavior are things that you can measure. So you can start measuring the level of relationships within the organization, meaning is Jean bonding with Andrew, his manager? How can I measure that? You check how much they hang out in the metaverse together. You start checking what type of discussions are they having. Looking at employee engagement, you can physically check what meeting Jean is going into. Where is he walking? How much he's spending time in the metaverse while he's interacting with everyone. Okay, so there are many ways, Janine, and we haven't figured everything out because, as you know, metaverses are new. But the fact that there is social engagement happening within the metaverse, it gives us the opportunity to digitize a lot of that behavior that happened face to face, but we couldn't have digitized that type of behavior. So the metaverse is just helping us to digitize more data, and that's why that would help. You can, I see, John, you're nodding, you're concurring with that type of things, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, Elman, I'll give you a very it's a non-metaverse example, but it does play into the fact of measuring everything. So psychometric assessments, for example, that are digitized, that are online, also tracks the user's mouse movements. And it's actually shown to be quite a good predictor of what the personality type is, or the measurement construct is that they attempt to measure. It's actually the behavior of how you use your mouse pointer. So these are the type of things, well, on a much bigger scale that you can measure on in the metaverse. So from the kind of industrial psychology background within me, you think about, are companies going to institute a avatar policy, like how your avatar is supposed to be dressed, for example? Or are people going to be able to live through their avatar? Can there be something different to what they are not? Can the introvert that's an avatar still sit in the corner and not kind of engage with the people? And then how do you take those metrics of, for example, you use the discussions I'll have with Andrew. So is somebody that's having more discussions from the data that we've now accumulated resulting in a higher performance within the company?